Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm really excited to announce this video because I've been busy building some new tasks. I'm looking to create an environment which helps you guys to improve within. So what I've done is create a first draft of our very own benchmark. What I notice with a lot of players is that they get stuck or become unsure on how to improve, and they will constantly perform the same motions and get the same scores. I believe this is because aim trainers are great input-output tools, but how you as a player interpret that information is a whole different story. This benchmark is going to be different because I've hopefully made it easy for you to identify mistakes to improve on. So say with the Ra and Voltaic benchmarks, I think they are very good, but ultimately what they do is benchmark your current skill, so they can be extremely difficult to improve within. This is also because there is too much chaos in the scenarios. This means that wherever a target spawns, if you miss, you're not correctly identifying if it was the angle that was the problem, the distance, or the precision, and so forth. A big factor in my task is a kind of predetermined spawn, so you can pick up on these mistakes much easier, so they are basically bare bones versions of our aiming mechanics, and equally they should measure our raw skill in each section too. So if you're an extremely talented player, you will smash the other player's scores. Anyhow, read these couple of slides and let me know what you think. Ultimately though, if progress isn't happening from just you as the player alone, then video analysis is absolutely crucial because it's hard to offer set generic advice based on each individual case. So I will be tackling this in my new website, but more to follow on that soon because I haven't exactly finished it off yet. My goal is that this will serve as a central hub of community information for the best advice and tips, because another point to make is that there is so much misinformation being shared around, possibly even in my older YouTube videos, so that will eliminate any of those concerns. Another area the site will hopefully tackle is the Creator Studio tasks. So if someone creates a great task, who knows about it? Who's going to play it? So I'm hoping that if a player does submit a task to our site or forum or whatever I figure out for that, it will be reviewed by myself personally and those in the Discord. I've created 3 playlists for you to run through them easily, and there's 10 tasks in total so far. I would suggest if you are semi-new, go for the easy variant. Aim towards breaking into the medium one, and hard should be for very experienced players. Okay, so first up is mouse control. This task is very similar to one wall 4 targets or 6 shot in the sense that it requires omnidirectional movement. However, with the predetermined spawns we mentioned earlier, you will be able to notice if you struggle moving in a particular direction, or pick up if a certain distance is your issue. The task looks quite straightforward, but I assure you the inconsistencies exist in these scenarios too. The main aim is to break out of your current comfortability. If you can only hit small targets at X speed, it's time to find out what's holding us back. Next up is speed control. This one you'll probably notice is similar to grid shot. However, this one should focus on the literal speed in between targets, or your flick speed. The problem with grid shot and the reason why many people don't score high is the pathing ability. In no FPS anywhere are you required to shoot 360 times plus within a minute. These gaps cause players to lose focus on the actual aim of the task, which is learning how to handle faster speeds. If you remember my demonstration in the last guide, then logically speaking it's impossible to hit a smaller target, e.g. 6 shot, faster than you can hit a larger target, e.g. grid shot, because equally you could hit the larger target at that same speed too, if not faster. So if we can hit the larger target faster and learn how to handle that, then it becomes feasible for us to now to hit smaller targets at that speed too, because the smaller target can exist inside of the bigger one. Next up is track control. It looks like a funny one, but there is another tracking task later on to eliminate the areas that this task doesn't provide. So firstly, a circle is important to feature because it has every adjustment direction possible. I may increase the circle circumference though, because a lot of this task relates back to precision too, in the sense that you are required to make small adjustments to keep yourself on the target. So really what you should be paying attention to is if there's any segments of the circle where you notice you're dropping off. Next up is track switch. This one focuses on same directional movement at constant speeds, so it focuses on your XY movements and diagonals too for the actual switch. You should be paying attention to where the target is going to be over the time it takes for you to make your desired movement, so aim towards the side that the target is moving in. You also need patience, but don't be too hesitant, there is a fine balance. Next up is Horde. This is by far my favourite and it's definitely more on the fun side, but I still feel there is a lot of benefit to it. Where speed control lacks pathing, the bots in this task will shoot you when they get close, and even though the bot head sizes are 4 times, it's surprisingly harder than it looks. It should teach you to prioritise targets, path your movements, and especially in an overwhelming situation, you still need to find a calculated way out instead of panicking. Next up is click timing. Similar to the Pasu type scenarios in Kovacs, it requires you to shoot your target and determine the path of the next target over the time it takes for you to travel. Less experienced players will find they often just wait for the target to pass through their aim, which is where you must really be focusing on trying to eliminate targets regardless of their movement. Not every enemy is going to be stood still. Next up is precision control. This one might get a rework in all honesty. As mentioned, I wanted a task with semi-predetermined spawns, so in this one the targets spawn around a square with a small offset so the XY movements aren't perpendicular. But it should at least demonstrate anyway that you can output a decent speed in this environment than say like in Horde, and the aim is to get faster overall. Next up is click reaction. This task isn't all that unique in all honesty. You'll find loads of variants of this task about. The idea though is that your reaction should always be constantly challenged to remain on top form, and with the harder modes, the target size will decrease and require you to adhere to faster speeds. Next up is reactive control. Where tracking lacks in speed changes, this should help the player understand that a target suddenly changing its movement also requires you to suddenly recalculate what you need to do. Similar to like a jet dash in Valorant. With a small X strafe and a Y axis blink, should also be utilising omnidirectional movement in this task. And finally, the last task is 3D spatial control. I struggle how to word this task exactly, but it's important that you are able to operate in your peripherals. I realise a lot of the training I originally focused on was immediately in front of me, so I actually started to suffer a lot more with closer targets that were able to circle around me much quicker. It should help you operate within your 360 horizontal degrees and 180 vertical degrees. I've decided to focus this giveaway around the Horde task, and we will be gifting 2 random players instead of the top scorers. I've created 2 variants of this task, so there is a pistol one and one with an MP5. Playing either should be fine. The MP5 one is fun when you scope, but with the fast rate of fire you can literally just trigger your mouse to cheese it, which I'm not a fan of, but it still can be fun. To enter the giveaway, please join the Discord using the link below this video, as it is the only way I can verify and contact you if you win. Please note though that when you do join, you may need to select a role so that the channels become visible. All you need to do is simply just take a screenshot of your score and enter it into the giveaway section here. I will announce the winners at close date. I wish you the very best of luck and I'll catch you guys in the next one.